I want to take you into what a day in my life was like during the 6 years that I spent in active gambling addiction. It's not just that I was gambling a little bit or I was gambling every day. It was that I was gambling pretty much all day, every single day. What I want you to take away from this is how much time, energy, and of course money was wasted chasing after a big win. And even when I got those wins, it just led to future losses. I would wake up in the morning and I would immediately check my phone. And I wasn't looking to see what my texts were that I missed or emails that I missed. At the time that I was gambling, I was in school. So, there were actual things that had priority that needed to get looked at, but I ignored all of it. The first thing that I checked was the score of the Chinese basketball game that I bet on right before I went to sleep. You see, we're gonna get to what life was like in the middle of the night, but when I would wake up, it would be instant panic because I would be like, oh my God, do I have money or did I lose everything? And most of the time, as it is with gambling, I would wake up to see that the team that I had bet on lost, or the bet that I had made had lost. And so that led to an immediate feeling of, oh my God, I need to get that back. Instead of doing something maybe intelligent or something reasonable, of taking some time thinking about the decision I was going to make, I basically rolled over in bed and I would start spinning slots, playing blackjack or playing roulette. Because at 9 or 10 in the morning on weekdays, there's not that much to gamble on sports-wise. But I would check just to make sure. And of course, I would find some random tennis match happening in Romania that I would put some money on. So while that was in play, I'd be spinning the slots, seeing if I could win some of that money back. After I lost whatever the rest of my balance was, or at least had it at stake on some sports, I would finally get up, maybe an hour after I had initially woken up. So that's already killing off the first hour of the day. Then I'd go to the bathroom and I would sit down on the toilet and not even worry about having to use the bathroom, but instead redepositing so that I could spin slots while I was there. It might sound crazy, but a lot of the gambling that I was doing was happening in the bathroom, whether it was directly on the toilet or just pretending like I was on the toilet so that I could get away from people, so that I could isolate. Of course, that would lead to some more losses. At the same time, I would start day trading stocks. So I'm talking about going on Robinhood, buying some short dated options, maybe options that would expire that very day. And this is for more money. I never liked to dive into dollar amounts, but where I lost the most of my money was on sports betting and trading in the stock market. And I found that I felt happy. I felt content when I had a lot of money at risk. Of course, it was nerve-wracking, but it's what I wanted to be doing. So I would jump into the shower and I would put my phone basically on a stand on the toilet. And while I was showering, every couple of seconds, I'd peel back the curtain and I'd look at my phone to see if the stock that I had put my contract in on went up or down. And I would stare at it. So the water would be running and I'd be staring out the side of the shower, seeing if I was up or down on that particular stock. And for those of you that don't know what a stock option is, essentially it's like a multiplier on your bet. And I'm calling it a bet because the way that I was trading was gambling. But if a stock moved 1%, you could find yourself making 100% on that option, depending on the day, depending on a couple of other factors. But so it was high risk, could say high reward, but it really wasn't too much reward. It was mostly just risk. So the shower would eventually come to a close. I would get out and I would go to class. The entire time I was walking to class, I'd be gambling on my phone, probably seeing that Romanian tennis match was coming to a close and knowing if I would have more or less money to start betting on afternoon games with. Then I would sit in class, spinning slots on my computer or playing roulette or blackjack on the computer, basically ignoring what the teacher said. I did end up graduating, but it was only because they switched the classes to pass-fail because COVID hit, and thank God for that, or else I wouldn't have my very useful anthropology degree. Then, after class, I'd find myself running back home so that I could go and isolate in my room, spin more slots, feel like I could finally get a hold of what the financial situation was on any given day, and usually it wasn't good. So I'd start researching night games. I preferred to bet on the NBA, so I found myself putting bets in on the Sixers games at 7 o'clock, and I'd be sweating them out. And it wasn't just the Sixers to win. It was usually the Sixers to win over 218.5 with Ben Simmons, yes, I know, at the time, to get a certain number of assists, or Joel Embiid to get a certain number of rebounds, all packaged into a parlay. And of course, it would miss by a leg at the end because that's what parlays do. So I'd find myself chasing. Now it was the 10 p.m. games, and I was betting on the West Coast, the Lakers games. I found myself just constantly putting in more bets, trying to chase what I had lost. And if I had won some of the earlier bets, the pressure was off. And I felt great. And you might think, well, he won, he should be happy. But to me, the way that I viewed my gambling, when I won, that was what was supposed to happen. And when I lost, that was a horrible mistake that I needed to rectify right away. I put myself in these positions where no matter what happened, I was going to be betting again. And then those games would come to a close. And you might think, well, good, he can calm down, he can relax, because the basketball games are done, US sports are done for the night, he'll gamble again tomorrow. Nope, not at all. Then came Korean baseball, Japanese basketball, Balinese basketball. If you want to see a terrible basketball game, watch Bali play basketball. It is not good. Better than me, but not good in terms of something you would bet on. That's what I would be looking at 2, 3 in the morning, noting that, hey, I have to wake up the next day at 9 o'clock to get ready for school. Then I'd start to get a little bit tired, so I'd wake myself up with some slots or some blackjack. I remember doing the dumbest things late at night on blackjack tables where I would get a big win and I would tip the virtual dealer because I thought that would make me luckier. That would make my chances of winning better. And they'd be like, oh, thanks. And I'm talking about giving away hundreds of dollars to try to increase my luck. I was literally going crazy. Then I would find whatever possible game I could find right around 3 in the morning and I'd put some bets in, usually to try to win everything back that I had lost that day, or if I was up by some miracle, it was to basically say, let's try to double it or else we'll wake up even. Literally the moment that I woke up until the moment that I went to sleep, I was gambling. And that was my life for 6 years. We're talking about 12, 15 hours a day gambling on some of these days. And of course, things would come up like actual events. Maybe I was going out with friends, taking a vacation, seeing family, but I would have bets active during all of that. And as I mentioned, I like to gamble in the bathroom. If I was out with friends, I'd run off to the bathroom to check on scores. If I was with my family, I'd be betting under the table at a dinner, maybe running off to the bathroom. People must have thought I had the worst stomach problems of all time, but in reality, I had the worst gambling problems of all time. So if you're hearing this story and you're thinking, damn, I do some of that, but I'm not that bad. Good, don't get that bad. Take some action right now. And if you're hearing this and you're thinking, damn, I can relate to literally everything he just said, then you're in the exact right spot. I haven't made a bet since November the 12th of 2022, and I created this channel and videos like this to help you avoid going down the same path with your life that I went down with mine. If you can find some help any sooner than I did, you're going to be better off faster than I was. So check the description of this video for resources that I put together to help you live a happier and healthier life. And if you want to hear another story of someone in recovery from gambling addiction, check out this video next. Let's keep getting better together, one day at a time.